Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the stream. It's been a minute. We have not really gotten the chance to really play too much Star Citizen. Honestly, it's been really busy lately, and there's been a lot going on. I've moved. I'm active duty military, so I have come on drill sergeant orders, so I will be a drill sergeant here in the future. And yeah, it's just a lot going on, various things. Played a couple different games, took a break from Star Citizen because there were so many changes happening so fast. And to be honest, they kind of still are happening really fast. I don't know, I had to like bite the bullet and just hop back into it. If my audio does sound a bit weird, I am in a different room because I moved houses. We sold our old house, so we are now renting a different house. So because we're doing that, I am again in the basement. But being in the basement, I is a very different basement. This basement it's kind of funny if I'm being honest. It's a funny basement. It's the guy clearly like DIY'd this basement, and it's not done very well. It's not done very well at all. It's really funny. Oh man. But there's a lot of changes coming to Star Citizen. I've been keeping up on everything, done some Iviketti testing. I know 4.0, just had a test last night. It's pretty cool. I'm not going to go too much into 4.0 because I'm not allowed to, but it's decently pretty cool. I think everyone's going to like it when they get the chance to like dive into it themselves and actually do some 4.0 play testing. I will say I don't think that 4.0 is going to hit PTU before CitizenCon. It's definitely probably going to come more along the lines of like probably a week or two after. But 3.24.2 has been absolutely flying through the testing process. I mean, it went from it went from Iviketti to wave 1 in like a day, maybe 2 days. Like really fast how fast they like swapped that into wave 1, and it's already in wave 4. Like that is absolutely crazy how fast they've done that. The Zeus's came out. That's been pretty cool. Honestly, I'm super excited for that. I am a Zeus owner. It is the first ship I have had from concept to release, and it's a pretty awesome ship. Honestly, I would say it is honestly it's like one of my favorite ships in the game right now. It is, aside from the mole, I mean, it's a beautiful ship. It's got so much stuff going on with it. I'm making a comparison video right now, working on comparing all the mid-sized ships in a little tier list, kind of like I did with starter ships. We're going to do it with like the mid-sized tier ships. So that's going on. And a new mining guide. New mining guide's going to have to come out because 3.24 added the cargo stuff, and then 3.24.2 is changing quite a bit of the mechanics of the game, just like in general, not necessarily for mining, but yes, mining is to a hello random person. Must have jumped out. But mining itself has not changed too much, at least not from what I've seen in 3.24.2. I would honestly stream the PTU with the new MFDs and everything, and the reason I'm not is I have submitted quite a few issue tickets and contributed to a couple on the issue council because mining is busted in the test server right now, because you cannot view mining mode properly from the seat of the mole. You also cannot view mining mode properly from the mining turrets of the mole, and I honestly just kind of want to be particular and want to mine in the mole. On the prospector, it works pretty okay, I'd say, but I also need to kind of increase my bank because my bank is looking pretty low. They did change scanning, so like right now how the RS signatures, you see them over here, which is kind of where everyone's used to seeing them. They have now moved to the center of the screen in the 3.24.2. I'm just going to start saying PTU because that's a lot to say at the same time, and I'm going to be referencing it quite a few. So we're just going to call it the PTU. So in the PTU, they've changed how RS signature applies. In a really cool way. They've also changed how scanning works for non-mining ships. So for mining ship, right, I can flip into mining mode, right, like this, and I have a mining heads-up display, which obviously other ships do not have. but there's a scanning MFD now that will display info similar to all of this, but will display it on an MFD, which I think is like pretty cool and really unique. So it is a way to see. It won't display mass though, so that is a change that has happened where it will not show you the mass. But nonetheless though, if you were running around in, let's say, a rock, then I think that's probably perfectly adequate, and you probably get away with just doing that. I don't think there's any real reason to need to see the mass for a ship like that. Oh, a little bit of Quantanium. Is there some more Quantanium? I hate where if like this was like gold, all of these rocks would have gold, but because this is, you know, laranite, this is all a bunch of laranite instead, and that's stupid. Why can't all these have... yeah, see, why can't this have like more Quantanium? Laranite's not bad, it's just not like my favorite. All right, well, let's adjust this. Let's see, go here, line this up. Should be pretty, this is a pretty cake crack right here. And then we're gonna park it right here since it's perfect. And let's get to it. Also, another issue, something they added with the mole in the PTU is they've added little buttons. So there's like a button right here now for the mole, and they have them on the bottom doors as well. So they have placed the button on that spot and that spot right there. But what they messed up is there's no button on this door. So, and the door doesn't open automatically. So now in the PTU, you don't really have anything. Yeah, there's no way to get into the side turrets. A solid workaround that we've discovered in the mining community is if you open exterior doors from the pilot seat, then that will allow you access to the sides. So I think that works pretty well. But the servers have been surprisingly stable. I'm really excited for server meshing. I think server meshing is going to add a lot of depth to the game. I will say that in the large player playtest, it is really weird to see a lot of people running around. It's kind of uncommon in Star Citizen because Star Citizen is such a vast game and is so large. And you don't see people quite often, right? Like maybe if you're in a main city or something, that's typically where everyone sees people. But it's not until you like really branch out, and like right now mining on Selen, like my chances of running into someone are pretty slim, right? Like realistically, I'm not running into someone on this planet at all, as opposed to if I was somewhere else. Well, we'll crack these rocks. So what I really wanted to do today is I wanted to kind of showcase the power that mining has now, because with the changes that have come in 3.24, I think they really hard nerfed some of the other gameplay loops, except mining. I think mining has gotten off relatively easy with these changes. I think one of the big changes that kind of hasn't hit mining yet, which I don't know if it's an oversight or if they're not just ready for it yet. We talked about it a lot in the previous streams, was that, okay, well, when mining starts, how is refining going to work, and how is picking up your orders going to work, and can you stockpile, and like how is all that going to work? And now that the patch is live, and as we go through it, you just load it onto your ship like normal, right? It has not fundamentally changed how you do your mining orders. You still go in, it still just pops up, and you just take your stuff as normal. But you still have to unload it. So in that way, it is really good how they've done that. Well, I think it's good because it's super helpful for me as a miner, because now as a miner, I can go in and it does not take a whole lot of effort at all. Ooh, I can just absorb that. Pure laranite. 10 SCUs, boom. Because I don't know, I think the Caterpillar, honestly, I ran the Caterpillar, and that's because I pledged the, what's it called? The Ironclad, and honestly, probably one of the best decisions ever, because the Caterpillar honestly has probably some of the best capability, for running cargo at a mass capacity at any speed, because literally all I did, and I did it by myself, I unloaded a whole caterpillar in probably 15 minutes from start to finish, maybe 20, somewhere between 15 and 20. And all I had to do is you just go in, and if you had another person, you could probably speed that up considerably. But I opened all the doors, I took the max lift thing, and I went out, and all I did was just throw the boxes out the side. Just throw them all out the right side, the tractor beam side. Just throw them all out. Was that starboard? Starboard side? Starboard, yep, because port has 4 letters, left has 4 letters, so port is left, starboard's right. And yeah, I mean, you literally just do that, and you just throw everything out the right, and then you can do that pretty fast. You'd be surprised how fast you can do that. And since you don't have to open doors, they all automatically open. You're just yeeting stuff out. And you yeet it all out, and super chill. And then once you're done, you just go upstairs to the tractor beam turret, hop in, and then you're just... It takes a bit of practice to get pretty good at it, but once you're good at it, I mean, you can sling those containers into that little cargo elevator space, and you just do that, boom, 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 and like it's so fast. It's so nice. Like, honestly, maybe I don't even know how you could really speed it up unless you had someone maybe in an MPUV flying around. They could probably speed it up a little bit without getting in the way. I think that's the important part, is without getting in the way. That could probably speed it up, but that one tractor beam, I mean, it's solid. It slings around those 32 SCU cargo containers reasonably safely without like smashing into the walls and stuff or your ship or anything like that. So I think the Caterpillar is the move. Honestly, I may just pledge a Caterpillar at a IAE just to have it, because I don't know how the Ironclad's gonna hold up. But I mean, the Ironclad is pretty solid of a ship. Oh my god, that is perfect. Oh, did I find it? Ah, there we go. It's really hard to line this up when you don't have it's not lined up to your reticle. So you kind of have to like find the up and down axis that it's on and then like go from there. How much SCU is this gonna have? Probably stop at like, it's 25. So I'll stop at 71 just to see if I need it, but I don't think I will. And then that way, I'm not gonna need all that space, but I just wanna make sure I have all of the space to actually absorb it all. Might be a pretty quick mining run. We might have just fill her up on laranite and a little bit of quantanium, a little chef's kiss on top, and that is a pretty solid haul. I'll not be upset by that haul at all. I mean, tough part right now is I don't want to really start refinery orders, because it's all wave testers for the next patch, and because it's at all testers right now, I don't want to start refinery orders just to turn around and lose all my refinery orders like at the drop of a hat, because they just, oh, yep, PTU's the .2 patches in the live servers now. Here you go. And I'm like, oh, well, I didn't have time to get all my orders delivered. I delivered a couple though. I will say I do like the new cargo mechanic. I think it's really fleshed out. I think it probably does harm a lot of the hardcore cargo people, because they now have really a lot less overhead, because you severely limited their like round trip speeds. Like they cannot go very fast for cargo anymore. Round trip has been slowed down so fast. So fast. Like, oh, you're gonna do cargo? I mean, that's cool, but here's the problem you're gonna have now. Oh no, I'm gonna have to break this. Damn it. That's what? That's 2 SCUs of Bexalite. I can't reach this one. Yeah, I'll take it. I think I might have enough to actually fill us up more with. Hmm? Is that a rock there? No. It's gonna make me crack this. Yo, Piggy, what's going on, my guy? Good morning, good morning. How's your week? But now, once they make manual loading a thing for the mole, I don't think that's gonna be. I don't think it's gonna be so bad to have to manually load your transporters for your mining orders. That's like, it's like whatever. You know what I mean? Whoa, 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 whoa. Oh, evening. Oh, it's evening. Oh, are you UK? Ah, a fellow man of quality. Another selling miner. Hell yeah, man. Denmark. Ah, okay, okay. Denmark, he's a Viking. Are you tall? Are you blessed with really good, like, Norwegian type genetics? Oh, that broke really good. Solid, solid, solid. Let's see. 5%. Actually, you know what? I'm probably just gonna absorb all of this. Ooh, this could be a good piece. 54. Cluster of aluminum gold rock, 135, 155K, and a 119K Bex aluminum? Dog. That's solid. Those are huge rocks, though. Those are huge rocks. 100K rocks. I could probably count on one hand the amount of 100K rocks I've ever found. The fact that you're finding 100K rocks multiple in one area is pretty impressive. I'm not gonna lie. That's really impressive. Sadly not. I'm sorry, my man. It's funny, but it's not funny. All right, let's go ahead and mine this stuff up. No, that's really good. Are you able to break it? Do you have a build? Well, you're not gonna be able to break those. Do you have people with you? Or are you by yourself? If you have people with you, you might be able to break it, but by yourself, there's no way. I think the most I've pushed by myself in a mole is like a 60K. By yourself. Oh, dude, that's tough, man. That's tough. Oh, that's so tough. I feel for you. No, they haven't changed any of the modules or the lasers. I will say that they did change the ranges. At least it looks like it in the test server. That like a lot of lasers have similar ranges to the Hofstedes now. But I still stand by the Hofstede has like the best, what's it called? The Hofstede still has the best support laser stats. But no, I would still run the same setup. I would still keep it that way, and then still keep 3 surges on board just in case you run into those, like, you know what I mean, like really good rocks that like just kind of out of your range as a solo miner. Because I mean, it's really sad to find really large quantinium rocks, which I feel like is the only way I find them, where it's like, oh, they're either like obnoxiously sized for one person, or they're like really tiny, like the one I just found. Which, to be fair, I mean, what did I get from that? 7.5 SCUs. So 7.5 SCUs isn't bad, right? I mean, you take this load. Whoa. Oh. Because you'll take this load and you'll go instantly from like what would have been maybe a 200K load refined to like a 300K load refined. Super easy, super nice. But right now I'm just kind of being almost reckless because I don't really, I've already conceded the scooping of this Quantanium, and I'm not really refining anything, which is kind of helpful because then I can really speed up what I'm doing here. Are they? Well, nice. How? Like, what are you finding, though? I'm real skeptical. All right, we're about to just scoop up. Yeah, we're just gonna take these. Normally, I wouldn't take this low of a Quantanium amount, but I'm just trying to min-max my load right now. There's not a lot of, I've kind of already taken all the Laranite. How much time do I have? 20 minutes? I'm just gonna go ahead and head back. That was a pretty quick mining run though. That turnaround was pretty impressive. It was about as fast as you can go. Just didn't have a full haul though. I do like how I can keep those doors open in the PTU because then I don't have to constantly open and close doors all the time. Large borax, quite a lot of Bexlite Terranite. I have not had the same luck, unfortunately. I will say in the test server though, super nice. Super nice rocks that I was finding. It's actually pretty surprising. And you, no. I'd say another thing that's going to be like massive in the new chain update is the update to fuel prices. Whew. Boy, let me tell you, that is going to be tough. That is going to be so tough. Got the mole kind of made out. I think the mole will be fine because the mole has a solid fuel tank. But when you mine, you are definitely going to have to mine and refine in the sector that you do. And you are not going to be able to like jump around to mine, kind of like I used to with my Her L2 and mine wherever. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to do that anymore. Not going to be able to do that anymore, boss. For the Orion Belt, I think asteroids were looking pretty nice in the PTU. I'm not going to lie to you. Like, I really wanted to mine them because as I was flying around, they were spawning in clusters, which is what I really like. That's kind of why I don't like mining in space, is because in my experience, more often than not, it is they spawn solo rocks, and I just don't like solo rocks. Solo rocks, I don't know what's going to be in them, and 8 times out of 10, there's something in them that I just don't like. I just don't like it. There we go. But dude, absolutely go for it, man. Go try out some. Let me know how it goes. So pretty. I really gotta be careful doing this because I fly this thing like a Gladius, and I think I've ran into these turrets like 3 times already. And that is a one-way shot, boy. Silky smooth. Silky smooth. I do like the changes that they're doing into the game, though. They are definitely making this game more crew focused, and they're really removing the ability for people to really just play the game by yourself. Like you can, and I think what's really missing in the game right now is the like crafting and like a little bit of the base building. Like once they add crafting and the base building, I think this game will really hit it off because people have a reason to play. And right now they just don't. They don't. Like you play, and like kind of really the only reason to play now is if you have people to play with, it can be fun, and to make money to do things is fun, which is why like when a new player starts, and I can attest to this because I've been that person, right? And well, we all were. But when you first start, everything's so new and you want to try everything and explore everything, and like, but you really do kind of cap out somewhere with, oh, hello.
Welcome.
You really do just kind of cap out though, and like what you can accomplish, and like you're really after money. Money is like a real big thing when you're starting out. Oh, I used to be so obsessed with money, so obsessed with money when I first started out. And then once you get to the point that you know how to make it, and you've kind of participated in everything, you've had a chance to really make money and fly ships and stuff, you're kind of like, all right, it's kind of lost its pizzazz a bit. It's not quite as exciting as it used to be. But I really want some of the big ships to come out. There's some of the big ships that I have, like the Ironclad will be pretty cool. I think the Arastra will be pretty cool. So Arastra, I mean, yeah, it fits into my narrative of like mining and such, but at the same time, the Arastra is, I think, a very strong multi-role ship, because I mean, you put an Ursa medevac in the back of that thing and it kind of does everything. 3 quad barrel turret defense turrets, 3 size 3 mining lasers, onboard refinement, 576 cargo capacity. Like, it's pretty wild. 144, that's so little. Whatever. Thanks. Later, nerds. Also, this is why like I'm very big on mining is a huge cheat code in the current state, because I just made 144K in like 30 minutes, and all I did was go out. I did a little bit of mining, had a little bit of fun, right? And if you have 3 people, you can speed this process up. You can do some multi-crew, play around a bit, and then boom. Although if you're multi-crewing and you're splitting the profits, I wouldn't say this is really good. But by yourself though, chill, so chill. Super easy, knock this out. Sorry. I'm so unfamiliar with this place. Honestly, I like Crew L1 better than her L2. Just its layout, it's got a burrito bar. It still sells just about all the stuff I need for my mining loadout. I think the only thing it doesn't sell that I need for my initial loadout is the Helix Size 2. I think Helix Size 2 is the only thing it does not sell. I think it sells everything else. Which sucks, but I mean, you know, what can you do? What are you most excited for, Pig? For the changes that are coming up and stuff they've announced. And when I say coming up, I'm talking like the crafting and like base building or announced or supposed to be talked about CitizenCon. Like, I don't know how much of that they're doing. I think a demo would definitely mean that it's closer than not. Ships that are on the agenda, Pyro and 4.0 are like right around the corner. I mean, it's an Evo testing. I mean, come on. I mean, tech preview is one thing, but it's an Evo testing, like, right now. Base building and the Arastra. Hell yeah, man, that's good stuff. It's totally fair. Where are you gonna build your base at? You decided that where you're gonna call home? No, I'm not gonna be able to set my jump point yet. Because for me, yeah, whatever your org decides, huh? Part of the crew, part of the ship, huh? I'm definitely camping out in microtech. I mean, you have to. Like, everywhere else is just so boring. Everywhere else is just so boring. All right. That's a lot of panels. That's like 7 panels. Did I mean these are all solo rocks? Solo rock, solo rock, solo rock. What I really want to know that hasn't really been talked about is what are they going to do like with Pyro? Is there going to be new, there has to be, right? There has to be new materials that come out with Pyro because it's a completely different area of the universe, right? It's a completely different, you know, solar space. Like there has to be different materials. $52K? That's a lot of panels, bro. Holy shit. That is so many panels. Bro, there's no way this shit is still obstructed. Bro, there's no way this is obstructed. I must be like just barely obstructed. All right. Bro, there's no way this is obstructed. Okay. I'll just go to crew. I'll just jump slightly out of the way. Too close. What? Bro, I'm so far. What do you mean? It's sad, a mole at the moment and not have a reclaimer. Oh. Would a reclaimer for panels? That would take so long. That's a vulture territory, my guy. There we go. All right, we should be good now. Beep. But where was I? Ah, yes. So I really hope they introduce some different materials with Pyro because, I don't know, different material is going to add more value. It's going to add more changes to industrial loop, but that Pyro is already going to introduce for like everything else, like salvage. Like, I mean, salvage is about as flushed out as it's going to be. I think salvage will become more relevant when stuff like base building is implemented because, I mean, it's called construction materials. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's in the name. So I assume you're going to need quite a bit of it. And once that becomes online, reclaimer owners are going to have like their piece of the pie for base construction, right? Because I would imagine that normal materials are going to be a big part of it. And I also imagine that construction material is going to be a big part of it. So you're going to need the industrial pillars to really be able to build your bases and get everything underway. which will probably add more value to the common materials, your aluminum, your titanium, your iron, your all the shit that people don't want, right? Because like it's not worth anything, will have extrinsic value at that point because, okay, well, yeah, sure, I may not be able to go sell iron for a terrible amount of money, but you might need 100 SCUs of iron to build one building of your base, right? Or something silly. I'm making stuff up. 100 SCUs of iron is a lot, I think, kind of. But you see where I'm getting with this, right? Like, it's going to have a place. It's going to have a thing. And that'll really, I think, encourage a lot of player interaction because, sure, you could go buy the iron or you could just, contract it out to someone to go mine you iron. Hey, go mine iron. Like, you're a Rastra people? Oh, 100%, right? Like, I don't even think it's a question. And a Rastra becomes, like, instantly, like, the best thing you could possibly have. Like, you can't compete with an Rastra. External cargo from your refinery. You have 2 refineries. Like, come on. That will be, like, the base building thing. Between that and the Reclaimer, that is unparalleled capability right there. Honestly, I didn't even think about that until I just talked about it. But yeah, that is remarkably impressive ability to do that. All right, those are pretty big guys. What do we got here? Let's see. 20% Terranite. That's pretty good. I like that. Okay. That's not me whack. Boras. I mean, Boras is okay. I'm just not super excited about it. Barrel. Nah. I used to love Barrel. Before they updated all the mining stuff, I used to think Barrel was like, ugh, shit. That was like the thing to mine. But now, nah. More Vexilite. I mean, I think we're gonna mine over here. I think this is gonna be. It's about to be what we do. Okay. All right. Okay. We're gonna come over here. Position ourselves a little bit. No. My controller's a little wonky. There we go. All the sun's right in my face now. That's cool. All right, I'll tilt this up a little bit. Right there. Perfect. Oh my god, let's see. Save up in game for an Orion. Bro, do you know how expensive an Orion's gonna be? In game? I mean, out of game it's already pretty expensive, right? Isn't that like a $600-700 ship? But like in game though, I mean, think about how expensive like a 890 in a Carrack is in game. I mean, you're talking millions and millions of dollars. You know, before I would be like, okay, yeah, sure, maybe it'd be all right. But now, that's tough, my guy. All right. All right. We'll start with you. I think the sun is setting. That's kind of cool. 90 mil? My guy, you're going to be grinding for that thing, dude. Oh my goodness, you're going to be grinding for that thing. But on the other hand, I think it is a valid way to play. It's also a solid goal that's going to take you like a while to achieve because, I mean, that's 90 mil, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is going to take so long. Oh. But then what do you do after that, right? Like, you grind out 90 mil. What do you do after that? 90 mil, you get the Orion, then what? This broke really ugly. Oh, gross. So gross. I hate this. This is definitely not big enough to warrant putting anything on. All these fragments suck. That's fair. You can become like a pillar, like somewhere comes and like purchase stuff from you. Little in-game shop of sorts. Definitely did not absorb the right one there, but maybe I did. Oh, look at this guy. No. All right. Well, let's crack this fella.
Fracturing mode on.
Oh, I'll sit here and pretend like you're not gonna crack, bro. This is easy. 14k, 9% resistance. I mean, as I'm playing with laser power, another funny thing they did in the PTU is they've changed the controls slightly. So now just the mouse scroll changes power. You don't have to hold Alt to do it. It's kind of weird. Super weird. And right click no longer changes your modes. It it zooms in. Which, to be fair, the zoom feature is like really cool and helpful for like combat and stuff, but just different. Very weird. $55k gold rock with a saber and only used one stampede. Well, that's pretty impressive. 55k. That's a honker of a rock to broke in with one stampede and what else? Oh, where's all the good ones? Where's all the good Terranite at? This rock broke so bad. Two Rikers and that's impressive. That's a huge rock, man. Whoa. What? Oh shit. This is gonna fracture like that. Yep. Well, hopefully that didn't. No, it didn't blow my modules off. I mean, that is the one that normally has in front. I'm impressed. A 55k rock with that's huge. I don't normally crack rocks that big with that setup. That's what I'm saying. I just is unexpected. Normally that's like a 3 surge type deal. Maybe had like really high instability or something. All right, I'm not gonna sit here and like fracture this rock. This is a really annoying fracture. I'm not doing this. This is a really annoying fracture. I'm just gonna move on. This is really annoying. The Terranite split up in such a way that it's not really worth it for me. It's all 20% fragments. I should have went and put a gadget on it and I didn't. So this is a really ugly fracture. Dude, it's going to be super awesome to use what we mine to build ground bases. And it's going to encourage so much player interaction too, because, you know, we're going to be necessary. People are going to need us. I mean, not necessarily need us, but like they're going to have to contract us out. I wonder how that's going to balance out the economy. All right, yeah, I thought this was going to be one of those. Harvesting fuel, I don't know, because they have not really introduced any refining type stuff yet. That is I just want to go look at this. This is a huge patch. Show me this thing. Look at this patch. That is huge. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. And there's another one right over there. That's another 10 patch. That's huge. That is a huge patch. Yeah, that's an impressive rock crack, man. That's good stuff. If you were a creator, I'd say you should have recorded that. Jim Bob, what do you mine with? What the? This is crazy textures. I'd be tripping. Oh, Laranite patch. I'm about to move on. I thought that was about to say a Greasium. I was about to throw my remote out the window. A piece of shit. %45% Bexelite. Yes, sir. I will be cracking that one. I'll tell you that. All right. Look right here. Prospector and swap bags. That's a good way to go. I think for people that don't really enjoy like the solo mole experience, I think a prospector with mole bags is a really, really good way to make money. Especially if you don't plan on mining far. Like it's really, really good. It kind of limits your rock size, which is really the only reason I don't do it, if I'm being completely honest. If it could fit a size 2 laser on the front of it, which there's no reason it shouldn't, I think that's kind of a silly thing that they incorporate, because it's the same size. What the fuck? That's really distracting. That is really distracting. I mean, watch how this instability is acting at 144. I feel like your instability might have helped you a little bit. That stampede is really good for that. Oh my god. I have a seizure. Forgot Bexelite's my baby. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, it's just short. This is gonna be a surgery. This is gonna be surgical. This thing has like no mass. All right. Give me that. When inert materials, the thing I have the most of, it's mildly concerning. Now we're cooking. Yeah, I mean, I think you're right when it comes to the what's it called? The reclaimer as opposed to the vulture, you can stay out longer. But again, I just think it feels like it takes so much longer though. Ooh. Are you a volume miner or a value miner? And what I mean by that is, are you more of a miner that likes to suck up everything you find and you'll just take it as is and you go about your business? Or do you kind of picky like me where, yeah, like you may suck up everything if it's right, but more often than not, right, you're trying to find like a really good value, like for your space. I'm all about min-maxing the space, baby. I'm all about my space. There's rocks behind this that I can't see. You're lucky I don't overcharge this thing and shoot it into the atmosphere like a golf ball. I'm too close though. Actually, I'm pretty far from this. I might actually let it overcharge some. Beautiful. That was pretty perfect actually. 62, I might have to fracture that. 0%. 0%. All right, we're gonna have to fracture this bad boy. Cool. Anything that's at least 2K-ish per SU. I mean, that's fair. I mean, I'm pretty similar to that. I think I'll skip over most of the like 2K stuff. I kind of stick to the, well, for where I'm up from mine, I don't really run into much of the 2K stuff. I mean, I'll skip over Laranite and I'll skip over Hephaestonite and Beryl, but that's just because I don't really find them that often. And when I do, they're just in really small amounts. Not really worth like going out of my way for. Aha. I don't much like gold myself. I think gold's pretty whack, if I'm being honest. What was that? What's this guy? Oh, 74. Oh, don't care. Don't care. Truthfully, I don't have a place on selling I normally go. I just kind of go wherever. I always try different places just to see. I don't know. Whatever feels right, I suppose. Because no real need for me to go somewhere specific, so I just don't bother. To be honest with you. Nice clusters of what though? Everywhere I go, I feel like I seem to find pretty okay stuff. Oh, I just crashed. Yep. That's okay. That's okay. Well, we'll be blocked for a second there, but we're just gonna reload up the game real quick, and we'll be all right. Should still be in our ship. Just kind of that was a game crash on my end, not a server crash on the game's end. So that was pretty weird. It's been doing that to me lately. I feel like all the games on my PC have kind of been crashing more now that I've changed since I moved into the new house, which I don't completely understand because everything's essentially the same. And it's pretty cold down here, so I don't think it's an overheating problem. But the PC is also not turning off, obviously, because you guys can still hear the sound of my voice. But I don't know, pretty weird that it does that. But yeah, I'll jump to really anywhere. I prefer the dark side just because on Selene, the light side is so bright that it's just really annoying to try to mine and scan around because everything's just so bright. So the dark side's kind of just a bit easier to see. Truthfully, I like mining on Microtech the most, but the really annoying thing about mining on Microtech is, one, it doesn't have great ores. It's a lot of gold there. And two, for whatever weird reason, even though your ship is supposed to like auto do things, right? It's supposed to kind of stabilize itself. It does not do that. So like the wind will just blow you around, and God, that's so annoying. It's so annoying when the wind blows you around. Did I fill something full of one cargo type? What do you mean by that? Ooh, that's a big one. But anyway, I like Microtech, but you kind of have to have a co-pilot to hold on to your... Whoa. I've seen a lot of rock minables. I normally don't see this many rock minables. This is crazy. This is so dark. I feel like this is appropriately dark, but yeah. $54K. No, it's only 24% gold. That's pretty lame. Honestly, I used to mine a lot on Aerial. Aerial used to be my digs. I used to really dig Aerial. And then I got away from it because I think Selene has way better minables, so I just prefer it. Hmm. 50% gold. 41% Bexelite, 32% Terranite, 39% Terranite. You know what? I think we're gonna do some gadgets just to kind of mix it up. See, this rock on my right is the Bexelite, and then we want the second. The second rock on my left. Okay. One full load of gold. One full load of gold in the cargo ship, or like in your prospector? And if you're doing that, are you like split refining? Are you like being very particular about how you refine, or what? Optimax. Perfect. Am I in an org? I am in an org. I feel like I'm in, what's it called? Jurassic Park. Dr. Grant! All right. Let's put it in my hand. All right. Put this right here. All right, little adjuster here. Nope, wrong way. Oh, now we're talking. Oh yeah. Oh, we're in so close. Yeah, there we go. Boom. Good to go. So weird because it's like you don't feel like when you're in the mole, everything feels like so small, and then when you're on the ground, you're like, oh wow, this is a really big rock. Like, oh my god, he's quite large. All right, clink. Oh, it's that stupid glitch. Okay. All right, I'm just gonna do this upside down. Nope. Oh, what are you doing? Oh, we're right there. Stop moving, you clown. Oh, 90, boom. Haha. Oh yeah. Can you imagine trying to navigate this with no lights? You can't see at all. Although this feels like space accurate, but yeah, this is really dark. Also, the lights on the mall need some work. Oh, these lights do work. Oh, these lights need to work. They're there. They don't work. And away we go. You own a freelancer max? You're such a brave soul. What would possess you to purchase a freelancer max? Like, I'm not judging you. I'm just saying everybody else is gonna. Oh, the music stopped.
Engines off.
Oh.
Engines on. Launch complete.
That was a little foolish. I left those on. All right, how big is this rock? 7.2. All right, we're gonna use a little laser for this. We're gonna use the underpowered laser. My fraction, a little breaker.
Systems activating. Systems on.
There we go. Whoa. That was precision right there. You see that? You guys see that? That was all live. That was record time breaking right there. Don't you forget it. I thought I was about to lose control of that for a second. I was like, ooh. Time to scoop her up. Oh, I see it. 100% Bexelite, yes sir. Yes sir. That's another one. Oh, pretty close. That's pretty close to the appropriate stats for Bexelite for that not to be pure Bexelite. It's pretty impressive. No. Homer, what's up, man? I did not see the SpaceX launch. I did not. I think I saw of it on social media, but I did not watch it. I'm not big on watching stuff like that, for me, completely honest. Looks rough pirating loot, just a ship on the Rove C2 for me. But yeah, but like of all the ships, a Freelancer Max, I think the Freelancer Max is such a not great ship. Like it's part of my review thing I'm doing in my next video where I'm comparing all the mid-sized ships, and I thought the Freelancer honestly would be better than what I thought it was. Like I imagined it would be way better, but it just, for a Freelancer Max for a transport ship, I think it was really good for what it was. I think you couldn't beat it. God forbid, though, you did anything besides transport cargo. But when you compare it to other mid-sized ships, especially like the Zeus, like you can't compare it to the Zeus. The Zeus is so good. You can't. Yeah, I agree. I think trying to get cargo into the Max is probably going to be the CL is probably going to be a bit annoying. I kind of noticed that too. While it is nifty, it is a bit much. I think if you're going to do that, you definitely need like an Atlas or something. I feel like definitely need something like the Atlas for sure. Because the arm is right below, and so like to really angle a crate appropriately to try to scoop it in there, like you almost have to do it yourself. which I think that could work out pretty well if you just use the tractor beam to pull everything closer to your ship, and then just do it by hand with the max lift. Just like pick it up and walk it inside and just set it down. I think that'd be pretty all right. I think that would work. I have tried mining with the new MFDs. I personally like it. I think it all looks pretty clean and all. My problem right now, and why I'm not playing the PTU right now, is because it is broken and it is not working properly. So it does not show, it will not show the distance bar, it will not show the charge bar, and it does not show any of this information in the mining seat. So yeah, you basically can't mine. I mean, you basically cannot mine. Fun fact for the folks at home, if you put a gadget on a rock, it pops up right here. That is the symbol for not just a gadget, but specifically the gadget that you put on it.
Attack on shields.
Perfect. Perfect. Do I think they'll wipe ships in 3.24.2? I do not. I think they will wipe that stuff in 4.0, and I think that is what they are waiting for. I think that's like the big thing they're waiting for. Because persistence is a fairly new thing. And I think every patch since then, they have been testing persistence, and that like is a test in and of its. Whoa, what? Oh yeah, give me that. So every test in itself has been a test on persistence. So when they get rid of, when they actually do wipe your stuff, it's more fleshed out, as opposed to possibly like you losing a bunch of stuff and all that. This broke really nice. I like this. This looks solid. Saw Kleist by the Zeus freelancer since 3.18. The freelancer, it's not. I mean, it's not great at multiple things. I won't say that it's not bad. I don't know if I can honestly say it's good. I think it's just, it's not good at multiple things. If you got it to do cargo, it is great for cargo. Oh my God, this is so stupid. I can't absorb this because it's 10.78. Oh my God, I'm gonna have to move. I'm gonna have to reposition. I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna have to. Okay.
Fracture mode on.
Oh, whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa. Oh, whoa, I wasn't paying attention. I was reading. That's not good.
Critical.
Don't blow up my thing.
Attack on shields.
It did. God damn it. My other one's still blinking though. Whoops. That's why I happens when you read chat. I thought I had it low enough. Yeah, I think the max, like if you get a fully crewed max, that's a really powerful ship for most things, but without a crew, you're kind of hindered. You're really limited in like what you can truly do with it. Offensively. But the big dump truck, the dump truck it's got in the back though, objectively, no, I can't absorb that. 25, 31. I'm just gonna have to move. Back to the pilot seat. I mean, I think you can put the mole bags on the prospector. I think the prospector doesn't line up right. I think the prospector is too tall or too short. It's too short. Which I already knew that before they even like put the patch out, that you weren't gonna be able to do that with the prospector because it was too short. Way too short. Oh. Even though my Optimax blew up, I'm still gonna go pick it up. Because it's still worth money. Just can't reuse it. I'll have to sell it and buy another one. Yeah, you have to do it, do it in space. That's the problem with the prospector. You can pull the mole bags out, this prospector bags out, which I think is really weird that you can just do that. But yeah, if you want to put bags back on it, even if it's the prospector bags, it has to be off the ground a little bit. It just will not fit underneath it. I think they raised the mounts on the prospector in 24.2. I think. I have not tried it, but I think it looks taller. Maybe it's just me, but I feel like it looks taller.
Mining mode on. Extraction mode on. Fracturing mode on.
Okay, I do not want to. I'm not going to risk overcharging this rock. This is 10 SCUs of pure money. Been salvaging, making good money. Yo, salvaging is a solid way to make money. Honestly, I bought the Vulture as a pledge for early startup money for wipes. If I'm being completely honest.
Shields. Extraction mode on.
Yeah, Pigeth is right. You can do it that way too. You can shoot off the rings, and you can turn around and mount them. Ship-based mining when IE coming up. I was thinking about turning an Atlas LTI token into a mole. Can you talk about the pros and cons prospector mole? Okay, yeah, I can do that. So the issue you run into with the prospector is, one, it's size 1 quantum drive, and it's a relatively small fuel tank. So you can't go very far, right? And especially with the changes to quantum, with the prices, it's going to hurt your bank. Also, it's really small loads. So, I mean, you're talking loads of 32 SCUs. If you swap it to mole bags, right? Which I think they cost like 10K a piece to buy. So 10K a piece for mole bags, that's 40K. I think the prospector is solid. Your biggest limitation is the size 1 laser. So the biggest laser you can put, the best, and by best I mean strongest laser you can put on it, is the Helix size 1. The Helix size 1 pushes about 3,000 power, and it comes with 2 modules, so you can put 2 modules on it. So if you wanted, you could build it for more strength, and you can push 15 to 20K rock range, which is respectable. I mean, if you watch me mining in my mole, I think you'll see me run across those quite a bit, and that will really help you out. However, it's going to be really difficult to mine, because if you are unfamiliar with mining, then trying to control that much laser power in a really small charge window, like, let me see if I can find one. None of these are going to show it. What about you? Do you have a small window? No, you're not going to be crackable. So look at this one, right? So like, this is a great example. So if this, say you had a Helix on your prospector, right? That's within your rock range, 50% gold. That's pretty good, right? Look how small this charge window is. Your Helix is going to cut that in half. it's going to cut that in half. So now you basically have a sliver of an optimal charge window to crack this rock, or you're overcharging it. That's where you're at, right? And if you build it for power, that becomes even harder to control because you're already going to be pushing to want to go up. So once you build your prospector that way, it's almost like you have to go with larger rocks, because these types of small rocks, you have to fracture it, and it's going to be really difficult to fracture. But it is worth, I think it's good starting out. I don't know if I would pledge it, because you can rent it in game for pretty cheap. I mean, I think you rent it in game for like 20K per day. And I mean, you just use it for the day. And before, that used to be a really bad deal, because you could not change the laser. And if you couldn't change the laser, honestly, I'll be honest with you, the laser sucks. The laser on the rented mole sucks. It's the stock laser. But since you can just turn the ship ports off, and now you can just call up a mining laser in your elevator, you can just swap on the new laser and do that. And then you can do the same thing with modules, right? You can just pull modules right out of your inventory and slap them on your lasers. And boom, like there's your prospector, right? 20K a day. You'll make that back in one mining run, sell directly to the refinery, boom. And same thing with the mole bags, right? Like you can't do that in the loadout manager, but you could just take them off and call up mole bags like you normally do, like you would with a normal prospector. So like super, super chill in my opinion. And then the mole, I struggle with the mole, but compared to the prospector, I think it's better because it's going to take you, admittedly, some time to kit this thing out. Like, I mean, the front laser, the Helix 2, costs $100,000. That's just that laser. This laser costs $100,000. That is really expensive. All right. And that's one of my lasers. And then you've got the two Hofstedes in the back, and then the modules that I have equipped to this, right? The Stampede is pretty cheap. I mean, I think that costs like $1,400. That's pretty cheap. These things, though, these motherfuckers cost $40K each. Each costs $40K. These little things, the Riker C3s, to make this laser really, really strong, right? Now, don't get me wrong, that's a really strong laser. You can break 30K rocks with that thing, but it's really expensive to kit out. But once you do kit it out, you've got 96 SCU of capacity and 3 lasers. And then I have videos on my laser build. I'm not going to like go into detail here, but essentially this main laser is meant to be your hammer. So this is like, oh, you found this really, really large rock that you want to break. Okay, boom, you use your Helix to break it. Or you see what I've been doing. I know this Helix is too strong. It's going to be really hard to break those. These are support lasers, and they also work as like utility lasers for me. So this one has a focus and a torrent on it, and the torrent makes things charge faster. The focus makes that green charge window, how I said, that one makes it smaller. This will make it bigger. So, and you can use that to offset this with your prospector, which is why I said you need to decide, are you going to build it for power and deal with the little window, or are you going to try to offset that and use modules for that? So this is better for sub breaking because it makes it really easy to break my rocks afterward. And then this one is built for medium rocks. So if this rock breaks like that 30K range, this rock is breaking that like, I'd say 15 to 20K range. Now, could this break a 20K rock? Sure, right? And if it wasn't too difficult, I would probably do that so I don't have to walk all the way to the back. But with this laser, I can just go ahead and do that, and it's like no big deal at all. And as you've been seeing me break rocks, I think the only one I messed up was this one. But past that, I mean, it's pretty easy to break rocks with Hofstedes because Hofstede lasers just inherently have really good buffs. They make your charge window bigger. They make it charge faster. They reduce, I think they reduce resistance or instability. They reduce one or the other. So because they do that, I really like them as support lasers. And then on the mole, Hofstedes have longer ranges and the Helix has a really short range. And so because of that, if you had other people watching or other people with you, they can hop in the back lasers and they support you much better than, say, let's say, well, when you run 3 Helixes, you could just break the biggest rocks possible. Okay, yes, but now you have no support lasers. I'm trying to find that stupid thing. I want to sell it, but I don't completely remember where I dropped it. Where's that other rock? Is it this? Okay, we fractured this one. And it was blinking over here. Aha. So if I equip this, a fun thing for you guys to see, because I'm gonna equip it to my butt. Oh, it's not doing it. But you can see how the screen's not working. It used to spark. It does look different though. That's kind of cool. It's like burnt out on the sides. You see that? See how it's like burnt out on the sides? So it's not working. But in the past, I was able to just sell those, and you can sell them for the same price as you could sell a functional one, which not like you're gonna make all your money back. I think it's like half the price of what you buy it for, but it's money that's not lost. So I'm just gonna go ahead and do that. Why not? No, you're welcome, man. So my vote, I mean, that's the info. I mean, do with the info what you will. I would sooner say do the mole. Honestly, with IAE coming up, I think the Arastra is a really good pledge. Because if you can get a solid CCU, like I got like 60% off my Arastra. And the loaners for the Arastra are the mole and the prospector. So if you can get a really good CCU chain, I would do that just because the Arastra long term is going to be better. All right. We're out of here. So I was kind of where you are, where I was going to pledge the mole maybe, but once I saw the Arastra, I was like, no, I'll just get the Arastra because the pledge for that is way better. Or the loaners, or both of them. So then you have both ships all the way till the Arastra comes out, and then the Arastra comes out, and the mining turrets are remote controlled from the bridge. So at that point, it's like, oh, like super chill. Bro, what kind of goofy pathing is this? It knows darn well I can't jump through this planet to get to that. Oops, no. There we go. Yeah, I mean, I think honestly, the oh my god, there's so many comments. I think when it comes to pledges and loaners, the Orion, let's be real, it's gonna give you like the same loaners, and then when the Arastra comes out, it's probably gonna loan you the Arastra. I just think that the Orion is so far out that it's not quite worth it. for the Orion. I mean, you think about how long the Orion's been out. We are way closer to the Arastra than we are the Orion, though. Because once you have onboard ship refining, the Arastra is basically all the concepts are there. They just need to be implemented into a ship. And the RSI Arastra has so many ships that look like it that it's, in my mind, it's easier to put together. Kind of like the Ironclad, right? The Ironclad is so much like the Caterpillar that a lot of its framework is going to be similar development wise. So it's going to come out sooner. But for crew gameplay and all that stuff, I just think the Arastra is just going to be way better. I joke around and call it a hammerhead with mining turrets because it's got like 3 quad barrel. It's got 3 quad barrel size 3 defense turrets, which is like kind of wild when you think about it, but I just think it's kind of funny. 3 movable size 3 mining turrets. I mean, just go look it up. If you don't know much about the Arastra, just go look it up, my man. You go look that up and you'd be like, oh yeah, for sure. This is the move. Because I personally have pledged the Arastra. I've got a Vulture. I've got the Zeus. I have what'd I say? I don't remember where I started. The Vulture, the Zeus. So Vulture is my salvage. I've got the Zeus for my daily driver. I've got the Arastra for my mining. I'm gonna get a Galaxy in IAE. I have a CCU chain already built out for it. So I've been building that out the last year. Whoa, there's that turret I always hit. And an Ironclad for cargo. So those are my big ticket items that I have. Which really I don't even need the Ironclad. The Ironclad just kind of serves multi-purpose for me because I can put a bunch of ground vehicles in it. It's a really cool large ship. It was in its concept sale, and I'm a sucker. I'm kind of like everybody else, I'm a sucker for that type of stuff. So it's all about it.
Landing gear down.
But something to note with the Arastra was there was a lot of concept stuff shown in its Inside Star Citizen. Like that thing was really fleshed out for where it was in development. You know what I mean? They released the Ironclad, and all they released with that motherfucker is a page on the RSI website and some screenshots. You know what I'm saying? It was a JPEG purchase, as opposed to the Rastra. I mean, you go watch the Inside Star Citizen. That Inside Star Citizen is from like a year ago, by the way. And they are showing like models. They are showing the almost gray box appearance of the ship. It's crazy. It's crazy. And they had like just announced it. So I was like, what? That's crazy. Oh, there we go. Oof. Also, side note for the moles, there is no internal cargo right now, so you're gonna have to bring a little cargo thing with you.
Welcome to the ASOC vehicle retrieval system.
All the Prospector does have a little internal storage. Not that it matters. I mean, I kind of like bringing my little closet into my mole, but it's more storage anyway. This bag looks so ridiculous. Oh wait, nope. Yeah, I think a lot of large ships have not gotten, they've been in development a while, but you got to keep in mind that the stuff that they are including, right, is also in development. So you think like the Arastra, well, it has onboard, people litter so much. The Arastra has onboard refining. So without onboard refining, I mean, you could release this ship, but it kind of defeats the purpose, right? Like you have this giant ship and you have a whole functionality that's kind of staple to it that you can't use. So why would you Why would you do that? Why would you release that ship? And then the Galaxy is supposed to have onboard refining. The Galaxy also has base building. What's that stupid ship called? The Odyssey? Is it the Odyssey? The refining ship? Which I think is going to get absolutely just like obliterated. I don't think anyone's going to want the Odyssey. I think the Odyssey is going to change drastically in its concept, in my belief, because right now it's like, oh, it's the Odyssey. It holds like the function of giving it the mining bags is pretty straightforward. The where's the boxes gonna go? Go look at the Odyssey. Go look up the Odyssey. It's the refining ship. No, not the Odyssey. No, the Odyssey is the big one, not the Odyssey. What's it called? What's that stupid ship called? You know what I'm talking about? I can't remember what it's called. It's not the Odyssey. The Odyssey is the really giant one. Anyway, it's supposed to be like the dedicated refining ship, and that's more better. It's supposed to be the dedicated refining ship, and it is just not. It doesn't look functional. Like, where's the boxes supposed to go? I don't know. The Expanse, that's what it's called. The Expanse, yes. Go look up the Expanse. The ability to let it refine stuff is like, oh, super obvious. But the ability to like retrieve those things, not super obvious. These lasers are worth $19. That's crazy. All right, from my backpack. See what I mean? You guys saw it was broken. I could sell this for 14K. Thank you. And now I can go buy my replacement for 27K. So I'm not quite making all my money back, but it's not a total loss either. So I'm willing to accept that loss. And if you guys have never used it before, a lot of people leave their destination as the station, but you don't have to do that, right? You can skip that step and you can just put it straight into your backpack like I just did. You can also do that with containers. If you have containers stored in the warehouse, you could do that too. So now, boom, boom. Right there they are. Right there they are. Are you allowed to share links here? Yeah, I mean, you can share links here. It's fine. I don't think I have it blocked. As long as you're not spamming like Discord links trying to hassle people to come join your org or something. But if you're just trying to share stuff with the group, I think that's totally fine. Thanks for asking. But yeah, that's my only thing with sharing links is I used to be a streamer, and when you're a decent sized streamer, it kind of becomes a thing where people want to come in your stream and like, oh my God, you know what's really cool? You should come look at my stream. And so like that's going on.
Welcome to the ASOC vehicle retrieval system.
Retrieve.
Vehicle selected. Stand by. Your vehicle has been delivered to the following location. Please visit us again. Goodbye.
Yeah, my thing with the Expanse is I don't think the Expanse is a bad ship. I think the struggle is where's the refined stuff going to go? And it only refines one order at a time. So I think its function would kind of be better suited of, let's say if you were a small org, or maybe you're just by yourself, right? And you park your Expanse at your base that you're building, and it refines your stuff there to give you materials, and you use your prospector to go out and mine. And now you don't necessarily have to have a cargo ship to transport your stuff back and forth, right? You can just save yourself the money of refining it. You can save yourself the trouble of transporting it, right? You just, you know, you cut out all the middlemen and you just have it all right there. So in that way, it's pretty functional. I just think looking at this ship, I don't know where the refined goods are supposed to go. Like on the Arastra, well, that makes sense, right? The Arastra has an external cargo grid where it's going to go. Okay, cool. Boom. Asked and answered. But the Galaxy, the Galaxy has an internal cargo bay. Boom. Asked and answered. Expanse? Where is it supposed to go? YouTube's asking me to verify security, and I'm scared it's going to mess up my stream if I do that. But you guys seem to be doing fine, so I'm just gonna leave it. I think they're maturing a lot too. I think they've gotten a lot better at this whole development thing. Like certainly they've, like just go look at the Zeus. Like Morphologist did a really interesting video. He talked about it, kind of his normal architect review stuff. But a big point that I liked that he made was it's so flushed out compared to every other ship. Like everything in the ship is functional. There's no unused space. As opposed to you look at a ship like the C1, like my biggest hiccup with the C1 is it's this huge ship, right? The ship takes up so much space, but it doesn't have a lot of cargo space. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't have a lot of crew quarters either. Like the crew quarters is right behind the pilot seat. And it's like for Crusader to be this luxury brand of sorts, it's like it's not really a solid competitor. I don't think. So how are you meant to you know what I'm saying? Like how are you supposed to like go up against that? My PC specs, I have a 4070 in the GPU slot. I've got 64 gigabytes of DDR4. I think it's running at 5200, I think. I'm not entirely sure. The CPU is an i9. It's like the second best i9 for speed. I don't remember what that speed is. I'd have to look it up. Also, side note, thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. I'm always humbled that even like one person's in here that are in here watching me. So the fact that we have even 7 or 8 people in here is pretty cool. What you guys could do though, they'd be like really cash money of you, is I don't want your money. You guys keep your money to yourself. I never want anyone's dirty money. But if you could hit that like button, that'd be pretty sweet. That'd be pretty cash money. The like button and watching, like the best things you can do for the channel. Best things. What do you do for storage space in the mole for modules and such? I will show you what I do for that. Once we get to our next little mining rock cluster, I'll show you. I've got a closet, is what I call it. I have a closet. Sure, we'll go to Terra Mills Hydro Farm. Sure. I use Rewast, so thank you guys so much for the likes. I get like 4 while we're back to back. Thank you so much, guys. That's awesome. Thank you. I really do appreciate that. I mean it. Thank you. I use Rewast, so REWASD, Rewast. It's a software on the computer that you can remap your controls. I use an Xbox Elite controller because it's got the paddles, 4 paddles in the back. Even though like it's really annoying that sometimes it sticks and stuff, but you know what are you gonna do? Ooh. Oh yeah, that's what Papa wants. So I use that. I don't remember whose video I watched. When I first started Star Citizen, like I was new to PC gaming too. So everything was foreign to me. So I was like, well, I really want just my controls. So while I'm trying to learn Star Citizen, I was also trying to learn how to do rewast, which was it was pretty helpful. I mean, at this point, it's pretty fleshed out, my controls and all that. So some keybinds are standard, some keybinds are not, but that's essentially what I have going on. We might have talked about it before, but I have super bad memory, so if we did, I would have forgotten about it. I would have forgotten about it too. My wife heckles me about it all the time. I forget everything. I'd forget my name if I didn't wear it on my chest every day. Ooh. Oh, it's just laranite. It's a lot of laranite. What the okay. All right. Okay. 60% resistance. Oh, we're gonna put a module on that. We're gonna put a gadget on that. All right. I mean, it's a solid rock. I'll take it. Oh, thank you. I used to be a leaderboard pilot in Battlefield. So my piloting skills with the controller are pretty good. This is how I do my internal storage. My closet. This is a 2 SCU container. So you just put the little access quick to the side and boom. And it's 2,000 sub SCUs of material, so I find that quite helpful. All right, we'll put these in here. I'm cheating and using my mouse for this because it's just faster. So don't think that this is me on a stick. This is not me on a stick. This is just me. No, it's just it's using the mouse. Beautiful. But yes, I used to be a leaderboard, like top 10 in the world Battlefield pilot. So I was pretty fluent with the movements. Oh, this looks really annoying to try to do. Oh, pretty close. Oh, there we go. Boom. Bada bing, bada boom, huh? I know I'm gonna have to use my front laser for this, so I don't wanna. I know I can power through the resistance of that rock at 20K, but what I don't want to deal with is the little charge window. So I just put a wave shifter on there to make the charge window bigger. That was all. Yeah, the 1 SCU box is fine. I did that originally, and you can put it like back here, but I just like to stand this up like the way this looks stood up. And it matches the color scheme, which not completely intentional, but sure, style points, right? Because this is orange and like the gray and black, and this is the orange, the gray and black. So this is like perfect. Perfect. I think I just placed it there because that's just kind of the closest spot it went, and then it fits so perfectly. And I was like, oh, honestly, I might want to put a second one just so it matches. right here. Yeah. I mean, you guys have watched, but I store my mole every time I go to the refinery. I will say flying around, it does move around. Oh, why am I coming back here? Moving around, it does jostle a little bit sometimes, like unpredictably. Like I don't really know why. And it's like a minor jostle, but it's kind of weird. Gotta get dressed before I go die in a bunker. Oh my god, I don't think I've been in this turret yet. That's crazy. All right. Can this crack this? I'm curious. Remember we talked about before though, side note, about how it's got a different symbol for the gadget. So the gadget before looked like an flying saucer picking up somebody. Now this looks like the Skillcraft logo. All right. Beautiful. Oh yeah. Honestly, I'm kind of impressed with this resistance that it's even going up. This is a lot of resistance to try to push through. A lot of resistance and a lot of instability. Yeah, I think it's hard to beat the mouse when you're using a controller for like quick inventory stuff. 'Cause it's just so much faster. You can just whip that thing around, because it doesn't have the functionality that like a console game does, where like when you're flipping through the inventory with a controller, it'll snap item to item. As opposed to this game doesn't do that. You still have to like move the cursor. And if you're moving the cursor, the mouse is just always going to be better than the joystick. You can't beat it.
Warning. Power critical.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Couldn't have done that any better. Whew. All right. Do the 3 lasers that come stock on the mole do a good job for a beginner? In terms of buffs and debuffs, yes. In terms of usefulness, no. Because I went into the PTU and I didn't feel like going to get I didn't feel like going to change out my lasers. I just wanted to like go try out mining. And I did not realize just how strong my lasers are on this mole until I had to deal with the stock lasers. And then you really understand that like the stock lasers on the mole, while much stronger than the prospector, are awful. They are so awful. I mean, you're talking like 10 to 12k rock range, maybe, if the resistance is like kind of low, like maybe. No, I think you don't have to necessarily get Hofsteeds. I mean, you don't have to go get a Helix. I think you could get away with a Hofsteed. Like if you wanted to piece out your build, I would probably get a Hofstede first and it has 2 module slots, and I would put 2 Rikers on it, and that will do you pretty well for a while. That'll do you pretty well for a while. Because like this is a good example, right? So this, I have a Focus 3 and a Torrent, right? Because this is my like helpful laser. But if I turn this off, look how small this is. Look how small that is. Pretty small, right? But with how I have this laser built, now I've just made it drastically bigger. Making it way easier to mine. So I think the Hofstede is the best beginner laser because it just provides the most, it's more forgiving. You don't need to be super skilled at the laser to use the Hofstede. As opposed to me, like I just put a gadget on this rock that increased the charge window by 100%. So I doubled it for me to crack the rock. Not because I necessarily needed it, just more so because I just didn't feel like trying to stress out that this rock is not valuable enough for me to care to try to stress out over it. You know, this isn't like it's a multi-million-dollar rock. If that were the case, then like, yeah, all right, sure, I would have tried a bit more. No, the standard laser on the mole is the Arbor laser. That's also the standard laser for the Prospector as well. It's just on the Prospector it comes in a size 1 standard laser, and on the mole it comes standard as a size 2. That's the main difference. So you have to go buy the Hofstede, but the Hofstede is much cheaper than the Helix. The Helix, because it's $100,000, so it's much more expensive. So I think you can, with modules are really helpful, and then you can, I don't know, it's kind of the thing with mining, and I'll show you more when I go, after I crack these rocks and all this, I'll go look in my closet and point it out to you. But gadgets in combination with your laser kind of round out your build. So you can make up for things that your laser does or does not do with gadgets. So a perfect example is my main laser on the front of my mole, right? Whoa, I think I yeeted. Oh, I still have a lot of range of motion. I don't really care. So because my front laser reduces my charge window size, I used a gadget that would increase it to help mitigate the detriment that I had for it. Yeah, exactly. Like, I'm kind of spoiled in my way because like I have the money to buy all of my setup stuff, and if you're starting out, like it's expensive. It is very expensive. And what I'm doing right now, that may seem kind of weird, is Quantanium as a mineable is unstable, and from the moment you absorb some of it, a 25-minute timer starts. It's kind of dulled out, but it'll appear right here. And that once 25 minutes elapses, you blow up. Like, I'm not even making that. Like, your ship will blow up. I'm not making that up. So because that happens, pure Quantanium, what? So because that happens, it is best to scan everything so that way you're not scanning after the fact and you already know what it is you want to pick up. because this scanning takes time. So to save myself, instead of wasting this time while I am trying to absorb all this stuff, I'm just going to go ahead and do it now. And then some of them I don't have to crack. Like this one, while it is very big, if it is 10 SU or less, you should be able to extract it. So I should be able to extract this one. Kind of want to test that theory. I don't know why it's not letting me extract it. It should let me extract it, but it's kind of weird. No, you don't gotta shut up, man. You're asking great questions. Yeah, you're asking solid questions. I think just a lot of the regulars in here are kind of familiar with because they're veteran miners, like they've done this a while, or they've just been around in the community a while. And my builds and how I mine is just pretty standardized. It's not like new or anything, so like it's not really a surprise. Another thing to note about the lasers that is kind of catch 22-ish is, so the front laser, because it makes the charge window smaller, if I turn the laser off, the charge window now becomes bigger, as opposed to with this laser, I make the charge window bigger. So if I turn the laser off, it becomes smaller. So if I'm at the top of the optimal charge window and I turn my laser off, it's going to be in the overcharge zone, as opposed is the opposite effect on my helix. So it becomes a nice little panic button where like, oh my God, I'm overcharging my rock some. I'll just turn my laser off and now my optimal charge window gets bigger.
Extraction mode on.
You'll like the Arastra, man. And then once you get to 2 loners, you have a prospector and a mole, and then you have them every patch, which I think is powerful, that you can start a patch with like a mole and you don't have to go buy it, and instantly you can just go make money right away. I still think the vulture kind of beats it, because I can take a vulture and go find panels and I can scoop up those panels for free. I can produce my boxes for free, and I can go sell them for 15K a piece. And after like 2 runs of that on a full wipe, I mean, you'd make like 400K, and then boom, you can go buy your full setup for your mole. So I think that's a solid gateway ship, so to speak, for starting off after a wipe, which is why I bought it. Exactly why I bought it. All right, well. So like you see, it's dulling down, but see there's the timer. And now we just go through and scoop it all up. That's pretty. 100% Quantanium. That's pretty. All like that. Don't want that. What is this? Oh, that's like another one. Oh, missed one. You can kind of get an idea, like as you mine longer, of what different stats a rock has. So like the closer to 100% I see the resistance is, the more quantanium I know is in it. So like I didn't need that to fully scan to know like, oh yeah, this got like a lot of quantanium. This is 100% quantanium. This is a solid haul of quantanium. This is a lot of money. That's got a little carried away there. This is all titanium. Yeah. It's another rock I can't see. You can see it under, kind of underneath there. Kind of want to. I know there's some, what's it called? There's some quantanium there. 8%, 10%, 18%. Can't reach that. All right, let's get out of here. The music stopped. All right. That means we're in the last hour of the stream. So with this, right, these all have their own purpose, right? So the Bore Max, minus 70% instability, which is good. It lowers instability. 30% cluster factor. That means stuff sticks together. We have better fractures, and then 10% resistance increase. Huge buff, little downside. That's Bore Max. Wave Shift, 100% optimal charge window size, lowers instability, and it makes stuff charge slower, but that's like whatever. Saber increases instability a little bit, increases your charge window by 50%, reduces resistance by 50%, and then minorly increases instability. So those are your big three for countering different problems. This is your instability reducer, this is your resistance reducer, and this is your charge window increaser. So this is three tools. And then this, it drops resistance, sure, don't really care about that, but it increases cluster factor by 60%. So this, I carry the most of these because this is for like when you want to have really good brakes, but you don't necessarily have to use the front laser. That is when that is really, really powerful, because now it's like, okay, boom, my rocks break really good. I've got really good splits. You know, that's where you get those like nice 100% pieces of something. That's how you get those usually.
Mining mode on. Mining mode off. Mining mode on.
It doesn't change the fault lines. I think the fault lines just show you like how the rock's gonna break, but it does,
Extraction mode on.
yeah, I don't think it changes fault lines. I just think it actually, I'm just gonna absorb this so I can see the rock below it. Oh, it's under the ground. I can't get it. Lame. Whatever. it just changes where the material goes. So I don't think it changes the fault lines. I think it just changes where the material goes. I usually like using the terminology of sticking together. So it'll stick together better to make those nice subfragments. Which, it's really cool. I really only use it on a rock that has, it's a pretty substantially sized rock, right? Like if a rock is, you know, only 20-25% something, like I'm not really gonna do it. But if we're talking like a huge honker of a rock, right? And it's got, you know, 40% bexolite. Well, I don't want the bexolite to go everywhere. So I'm just gonna go ahead and throw, you know, that bad boy on it. So that way I get better breaks. And it's just a little bit easier on me. Uh-oh, might have blew it away. Um, I might have blew it away when I landed. I landed like right on top of it. Oh, there it is. And now I can reuse it. Onward. Steed. Yeah, I like that. There we go. Perfect. Argo ship, I saw and heard stuff about it. My speculation, I guess my hope, is it's a medium-sized salvage ship. That is my hope. I think Argo could use that. I think it could fit their demographic. I think it's not out of character for them. And honestly, we kind of need it. We don't have a solid mid-sized salvage ship. It goes from, you have medium and grande, and that is it. There is no in-between for salvage ships. You are either flying a solo salvage ship that is like reasonably sized and all that, or you are flying one of the largest ships in the game, and there is just no middle ground for that, and it is absolutely wild to me. As opposed to mining, you have a small ship and a medium ship, but that's not how they did salvage at all. No, it's wild, honestly. Which the Reclaimer's good. I think the Reclaimer's going to get a lot better when they put drones into the game. And again, that's like one of those ships what they released without a function enabled on this ship. And I think the Reclaimer is a really cool ship. I think it's got a lot to it. Despite what it's missing, it's just such a honker. Also, like, on a side note, that ship is so ridiculous. Like, it has these giant legs for landing, which are really cool. But like the engines are so tiny. Like, come on. Like, the engines on that ship are so silly. I will never pledge a Reclaimer. Ever. I will not buy a Reclaimer. I have one in game. I will never buy one with real money until they fix that. And I bought one in game because I just wanted to hop on the cash grab of construction materials. That's all that was. I just wanted to sell a bunch of construction materials. Back when it was, you know, the bee's knees to do that. Oh. I believe that was my 13-minute morning.
Mighty mode off. Landing.
It's always just a fun thing when that goes off.
Engines off.
Lets you know you're still alive. Still blinking and making noise. Yeah, that's my guess for it. It's either that or maybe, depending on what they're announcing, if building comes into the game, Argo might be releasing the construction vehicle, right? Because they said there was going to be a construction vehicle, and they said there was a construction vehicle, and then you had like the Galaxy, and then you had the Pioneer, is what they said. So it could be the construction vehicle coming into the game. That could be part of it, which if it does come into the game, I imagine it's going to be really small, and you'll be able to build like a hab that has like a bed in it to make that your thing, which to be fair, that would be pretty cool. Honestly, pretty cool. I'm just curious to see how they work all that out. Because it's a lot of questions, it's a lot of gameplay that's going to get added, and there is no clean-cut way to know, like, well, that's going to mean. This should make me a pretty penny. Because this is, what, 20 SCUs? That's quite a bit. 244, that's not bad. Respectable, quarter mil. Because if it was full price, 20 SCU times 25K. Yeah, that's about right. That's about right. Just gotta make that bank, you know what I mean? We started today at 3 million. We're already at 3.6. It's not bad, not bad. That wasn't even a full haul. That was that mole still had some SCUs to fill. The fact that we were able to go ahead and knock that out is pretty good. He totally did not open that, but okay.
Welcome to the ASOP vehicle retrieval system.
Retrieve.
Vehicle selected. Stand by. Your vehicle has. Please visit us again.
Solid. Or I forget that later, because I definitely will forget that. And those side turrets are not enclosed. I've heard there are a lot of leaks for ships for like IAE. And they, to be fair, they are kind of behind on ship releases. Like the Fat Fury has yet to come out, which honestly not super terribly excited about. I mean, it looks like a TIE fighter and it's another heavy fighter. Like, okay, cool. Like it's whatever. Nothing groundbreaking there. It's just neat. But if they were to add some other nifty ships, like the Apollo would be pretty cool. Like, I know it's just like a medical ship, but I don't know. There's just something about someone coming to your rescue in like a dedicated medical ship that just seems cool. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Like, just something about that just like scratches my brain just right. Oh, my mold looks so pretty. Look how pretty that looks. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Dripped out in purple. Oh, such a good looking ship. All right. It is a moon. This is the Hadanite skin. This is the Hadanite. Dolovine is gray. Aphorite is like a pink. It's like a darkish pink. And then Hadanite is like a darkish purple. So this is a darkish purple. I've had people confuse this for like the midnight paint. Or I think it's called Talon. Maybe it's midnight. But nope. It is just the purple. I would love the midnight paint. I would pledge the mole if I could buy the midnight paint. But I cannot. But I would. I totally would. That'd be the only reason I would do that, is if I could get the black paint.
Quantum travel complete.
Kind of like Batman, you know what I mean? Does it come in black? Also, side pause. Christian Bale, Batman trilogy with Christopher Nolan. Best Batman. Argue with a wall. Obstructed. I hate it when it does that. It's so annoying. The pathing sucks. The Argo Orange, I think the Argo Orange is fine. I think it's a look. I don't know. I just like to be different. Argo Orange is cool, but there's just something about, you know, riding around in an off-color mole that, like, I don't know, people just notice it. I was just over there. We'll go, no, not private property. Yeah, whatever this place is. S2AFOB4. Yeah, like it's just, I don't know. Looks better in screenshots, honestly. The purple mole does. And it's just different. It's just different. I've got the Dolovine paint too. I think the Dolovine paint is another good looking paint. I think the Dolovine paint here, I don't like it because it blends in too much. And I like it to contrast with where I'm mining. Oh, yes, we'll go down here, sure. And that's my thing. I like it to contrast with my mining. See how nice I contrast with that? I think for this will probably be the last run, and then I'll probably drop this off, and then we'll go fly into Crusader to my extra large hangar. And just to show you guys the clouds, because I just want to show off my computer. These rocks all look pretty puny. Oh my god. This is gold. Yep, called it. That's gold. I knew that. Gold, gold, gold. Honestly, I have never been pirated in my mole. But I think a great place to mine is Selin. I think Selin has... So the thing with mining is your mining laser power is going to be heavily in... Like, your mining laser power is its ability to crack rock mass. So the higher the mass, the harder a rock is to break with low laser power. So... different places have different compositions where you'll find more types of certain materials. Gold is very dense. That was why when I looked at those rocks back there, I knew it was gold, because gold is very dense, and as it's very dense, it can be a small rock, but it's going to have this huge mass. Like, that rock was not 37K big, right? So just looking at it, I was like, ah, yeah, that's gold, right? I just knew. And because of that, it makes it more difficult if you have a low-powered laser. Selin, for the most part, has a lot of materials that are not too dense. How is density measured? Density is measured by how much mass does it take to make one SCU of material? Because I have learned in doing this for a while that all rocks kind of have the same amount of SCU capacity. However, the type of material in it. So gold takes like 800 mass to make one SCU. Well, Bexelite takes like 300 mass to make one SCU. And because of that, it makes it way different to try to crack a rock that is Bexelite than is gold. And Selen, in my opinion, has some of the best rock archetypes you can find. For me. Because aluminum and titanium have really good supplemental stats. Like they have good cluster factors, they have low mass to SCU ratios. And that just really enables them to be like really good for mining. We're gonna park this right here. So Selen, I find some of the most valuable materials, and I have some of the smallest mass for the rocks, and smaller mass means easier to mine. And since my mole, I built my mole to mine on places that were not Selen. So when I came here, like I very rarely find a rock I can't break. Beauty in the daylight, it gives you like snow blind. You're wildin', dude. Microtech shows off the beauty of this game, I think. Look at this. Oh, this doesn't make me snow blind. This looks boring. I hate mining on moons. It's just kind of the only place to mine. I do really like Boras though. Boras is the mid-tier material there is. However, it has fantastic cluster factor and fantastic mass to SCU ratio. So I mean, just look at this. I'm gonna get almost 60 SCUs of Boras from this rock, and this is a 17K rock. That is a lot of material from just this rock. And I don't even need to put anything on it for this to cluster up perfectly. If I were to put a Optimax on this to really... Bro, what is going on? Why is this not charging? At least the frames are kind of doing this. I agree. I used to mine on aerial a lot, and it gets old. It gets old. It gets old. It's like it's like you're on Mars. It gets so old so fast. So old so fast. If I had a whole crew, I would probably mine on Microtech just for the looks of it. It's just nice to look at, if I'm being honest. See if I can spike this instability some. If you drag the laser across a rock surface, it causes instability, and that makes your laser go up some. Sometimes. Not always. But we're kind of pushing the limits of this laser. The 17K rock with 16 resistance. But you can see how different rocks have just affect differently by something so small as resistance, right? Because I told you this breaks that 15 to 20K range, and we're sitting almost exactly in the middle of that. But something as simple as putting 16% resistance with it, even though it's not that high a resistance rating, is causing me problems. And I'm like right at the optimal zone. But I love Microtech. Microtech's gonna be my home. But once we build bases, without a doubt, Microtech is like the home. Can't beat it. Another reason I stopped mining on or in and around Hurston is iron is the most common in the Hurston system. And I don't know if system's accurate terminology for it, but planetary group. And Hurston does not buy iron. And you cannot sell iron directly to the refinery. And iron has a terrible cluster factor, which means it mixes with everything, and its mass is really high. So I have no perks into mining it, nothing but ass pain, and I can't even sell it to the closest place that buys stuff. So it's like, why? I hated it. I hate iron. I have a vendetta against iron, I promise you. As opposed to here, it's titanium and aluminum, and I can sell titanium and aluminum anywhere. So that has been way better for me. There we go. Now we're cooking. Honestly, I wouldn't hate it. If it was a main resource for base building, that's fine. It's just right now, the only purpose to mine is to make money. And iron does not make money. I got scared there. I had to be quiet. The laser hears me. But yeah, iron doesn't make money, so I'm not going to do that. Oh, I'll tell you what though, if iron is like the main thing for base building, which I imagine it probably will be, hey, I'll mine the shit out of some iron, bro. I'll be the biggest iron miner this side of the system. Like, get out of here. I almost said Mississippi. On this side of the Mississippi, you know what I'm saying? I'll be going crazy. I'm gonna have to subfracture that. Ah, no. Oh, I like that. I love rocks that have like bexolite and borax in it. Ugh. Cause then it's like nothing but good stuff. Like it had an acceptable amount of bexolite in it, but then it also had like a decent amount of borax in it. So it's like, oh yeah, it's gonna mix up real nice. I think Star Citizen is going to improve on both. I think Starfield had really good systems for certain things, in part because it built off old games. I think that was a big flaw for Starfield, was because it built so much off of Fallout that it just kind of felt too much like Fallout. And because it felt so much like Fallout, people didn't like it. People didn't like the game because like it felt like Fallout in space. And to be fair, it did, but not in good ways. Like the base building was really, really good. Like that was like this crown jewel for the game, I would say. However, it's like ruined by like other parts. Oh my God, it's gonna be in my way now. But I think Star Citizen is going to improve on its systems. I think Star Citizen has a good foundation, and it's the long game. I know a lot of people said like a lot of different things about Star Citizen. Like Star Citizen is the long game. I mean, you're talking a decade in development. The concept of this game was way ahead of its time. Way, way, way ahead of its time. But now as technology and gaming has kind of caught up to a path that Star Citizen needed, you're starting to see these huge developmental leaps in Star Citizen. And I think games like Starfield, No Man's Sky, right? Games that are very similar are really good staples for Star Citizen to learn from, because they're going to go try something and Citizen can be like, okay, that worked really well. Okay, that did not work really well. Okay, how can we make that better? And I think they've done a good job of that so far. Starfield got a lot of hate, and if I'm being honest, I think it's kind of not justified, because they're like, oh, all these loading screens, or I think it wasn't the loading screens. I think the loading screen was kind of like the straw that broke the camel's back. I think the biggest issue is you had planets, right? And people thought that you were going to be able to explore these huge planets, right? You had all these planets, but it's not as many planets as No Man's Sky. In No Man's Sky, you can explore the whole planet. So then people were like, oh, well, it's going to be like No Man's Sky. And that's what they compared it to. And, you know, old Todd Howard, right? It just works. Talked it up so much. And then what happened? Right? Everyone got so bought into the idea that it turned into, oh, this is not what I thought. I envisioned this. I imagined this. This was kind of what you sold me on. And they let the public take off with what they thought was going to happen. And they raised expectations and hype so high, and you know, Bethesda probably thought, oh my god, this is so great, oh my god, everyone's so excited for our game. And like, yeah, they were, but then you let them have these high expectations, and then you kind of ruined it. And then you come to a game like Star Citizen, where sure, comparatively not nearly as many planets, right? You're talking a fraction of the planets. But I could fly around all of Hurston. I could fly around the entire diameter of Microtech. I fly from my hangar in Microtech through clouds and atmosphere to the space station orbiting overhead that I can see from my hangar. That is crazy, right? And Starfield does not deliver that. But that's what people imagined. That's what they thought. And everyone's like, man, if Starfield crushes this, Star Citizen's gonna be so far behind. It's like, bro, they've been working on Star Citizen for a decade. If you think Star Citizen hasn't figured this out yet, Starfield definitely has not figured it out yet. And I think the only reason Star Citizen is, if you could say behind as it is because it's grounded to be realistic. And because it's grounded to be realistic, it hinders it from progressing very quickly, because everything has to feel real and believable and all that stuff, while opposed to Starfield. I mean, Starfield's two best things it had was its outpost building and its ship building. Objectively, I think that was like the two best things it had. Ship building, which was really cool, and the base building, which is pretty good. And like, that was it. That was what it had. True. I agree. Distribution centers and bunkers are not the most diverse. At the same time, not necessarily like the primary focus of, you know what I'm saying, of development here, right? Like, why are we going to focus on that? Like, that's such a small aspect of the game. I mean, the fact that they have them at all, right, is kind of what they're going for, right? Because they're just trying to set the foundation for this concept, and then they can build on it. right? Because they already announced before how like they have a system for building the outpost, and what it's going to do is it's going to procedurally create different outposts, and it's going to make them look and feel different. Right? But it's going to reuse the same assets, but it's going to join them together in a way that's different. And I think the planets will get better because they're already like adding things to the game that weren't quite there before, right? Like, you know, they've already added some fauna, and as they go along, they'll add more and more. But again, what's the point of adding animals when we can't even get certain things to work right? Like they're more interested in like server meshing and whole solar systems getting added to the game, right? They're focused on these big ticket items. Like once Squadron 42 is finished, like then what, right? Like adding a new flora to the game is like small peanuts, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, Starfield had like so much potential, and I think they just kind of squandered it in the worst way possible. Like the DLC, the Shattered Space DLC, like I haven't even got to play it yet. I was wanted to because I bought like the nice edition that came with like the DLC pass, and then all I saw was people talking about like, yeah, this basically was like a faction quest line that probably should have just been in the base game, and I'm like, oh, well, that's kind of disappointing. It's kind of disappointing, but believable, right? I think Bethesda's just kind of gotten money grubby, and not that I think they're the only ones. I think lots of companies have gotten money grubby. I think the only thing with Star Citizen is it they don't have microtransactions. Star Citizen has macro transactions. But at least you kind of getting what you feel is something valuable, right? Like, oh, I'm getting this ship. It's going to be new. It's this, and that. Oh, it's going to provide me ability to do this and to do that. So there's something there and when people get the ship in Star Citizen, they feel like they've gotten the value that they paid for, right? Like very few people in the game get a ship and they're just like, oh my God, this is like so awful. I can't believe I paid money for this. And I think part of that is also people are usually bought into the game. And because they're bought into the game, oh, I don't like this ship. Well, I can just cash it in for credits and I can just go get a different ship, right? I can do that whenever I want. For whenever I want, I can basically trade my ship in like a used car, get value for it, and buy another ship. Which is a unique concept, right? Because in that way, the only thing you really spend money on in the game is ships, right? Most people anyway. Like people like me, and I'm sure some of you guys, like you might pay a little more. Like I think being a subscriber, a tier 2 subscriber for Star Citizen, was at Imperator level. I think that's a worthwhile investment because you get so much stuff. Like initially doesn't seem like a great investment, but like as time goes on, it's like a really good one. Because then you get paints, you get weapons, you get, what's it called? Armor, right? Like, and after a while, by the time you get to it, it's like, man, if a whole wipe happened tomorrow, I have everything I need to start fresh. I can start, oh, bam, I can go straight into mining right away. No huss, no fuss, right? Super sham, super easy. Right? I have armor, I have weapons, I have ammo, I have ships, I have skins, right? I have everything.
Mining mode on.
Yeah, right. It's like the equivalent of having like a nice toy collection. Honestly, the amount of money people spend on this game is actually crazy. I will say though, like my wife kind of makes fun of me when I first started this game and I started making content for this game. I was like, who would spend $100 on a ship? Not me. I'm like, that's stupid. You can just buy it in game. And now here I am. I've got an ironclad. I've got an Arastra. I've got a Vulture. I've got a Zeus. You know what I'm saying? In my defense, I think I got better when I learned what CCUing was. So while I do have all these ships that I joke, CCUing is like a cheat code that I think not enough veterans talk about in this game. It's absolutely the best cheat code you can have. Like when I bought my Arastra for cheaper than a mole, I was like, what? This is pretty cool. And now I built up a CCU for my Galaxy. The Galaxy might be my last purchase. That's the next thing I want. That's what I'm waiting for IAE to come out with. But I built the CCU chain. I see a couple last little bit of pieces. And then boom. Like I'm already have like easily gonna spend maybe 50 actual dollars on my Galaxy. The rest is all store credit and such. Oh, dude, the Galaxy. It's such a good looking ship, and I think the Galaxy is just gonna have so much utility. Oh, it's gonna be so good. That's my base building thing, right? I got my ironclad for transporting. I've got my Arastra for mining and refining. I've got my Vulture for salvage. To be fair, I will buy a I will upgrade my Vulture to a medium-sized salvage ship if that comes out. I will do that. I will 100% do that. Absolutely. So I will do that. And then my Zeus, my daily flyer, like I've got all my bases covered. Like I've kind of picked out everything I want for my different areas. Ooh. Precision extract here.
Warning, storage full.
All right.
Mining mode.
What does a miner use as a daily driver? I bought the Zeus CL to be my daily driver. So that's my thing. The Taurus was really good. I own a Taurus. I almost bought one, but I had one in game, and I've had it in game for the longest time. That was what I originally shipped my stuff in. But now, like, I got the Zeus CL. Bit more stylish, a bit more functional. I don't really have a combat ship. Like right now I have a Scorpius, but I have not pledged a Scorpius, but that's what I have. But the Corsair is not bad though. Like I think the Corsair gets like a bad rap because people are so concerned with the changes. Like it's still a good ship. It still does what it's meant for. It's just not this combat powerhouse that it was before. Yep, the CL is the blue one. It's the cargo one. I mean, the Taurus was my daily driver for everything because the Taurus has really good shields. It's got really good weapons. It's good cargo. You can fit. I mean, I would always just kind of keep it standard loadouted of. I used it to transport all my cargo goods, and then what did I change to? Oh, I bought a C2 in-game. I in-game bought a C2. That's what I did. That was during the salvage cargo gold rush. I discovered that when it became popular. So like I didn't have to watch a video for that. But I remember I did a salvage mission and I looked in the cargo bay of a C2 and it's Quantanium in it. And I was like, Quantanium? I was like, what? I was like, that's crazy. But it was 32 SCU boxes, so I couldn't fit them in my Vulture. So I did a couple runs in my Taurus. And I immediately went to my org and I was like, guys, we can make everybody rich like right now. I was like, bro, like, come on, like, guys, get your stuff. Let's go. Like, we're gonna be millionaires. And so we did, and we did that for quite a while. Not the most exhilarating gameplay loop, right? Because you're just taking salvage contracts, going, getting all the cargo, loading it up, and then just repeating that process many, many times. But made quite a bit of money back then. So that was pretty cool. But yeah, so then my C2 was my cargo hauling thing, and then now I have a caterpillar, the old Caterpillar, and honestly, the Caterpillar is, I think it's superior to the C2 just because the C2 you kind of have to have people help you to really be effective unloading and loading it, because if you have someone that tosses stuff out the front, and then you have someone that takes them and puts them in the bay, like you could probably make that efficient. But the Caterpillar, like I talked about in the beginning of the video, one person, you can just take a max lift grab gun and you can just toss everything out the doors without getting off the ship. And then after you've done that, you turn around and you go hop in the tractor beam turret and you can just put everything straight into the bay. Like I lined my turret up with like the cargo bay for my, it's a lot easier with the bigger hangar. This hangar doesn't do it justice. And then you just literally just grab stuff, load it up, good to go. You're tired of the cat? Why? Why are you tired of your cat? Oh, I'm definitely going to pirate a mine. I have a suspicion. They haven't said it, but I have a very... Is this a person? It is. I have a very high suspicion that there is going to be new materials to mine in Pyro. It only makes sense. It only makes sense. Even if it's a couple, it only makes sense that they're going to have new materials in Pyro to mine. I'm sure it's going to have some of the classics, your commons, maybe some of your mid tiers, but I am sure like Quantanium will probably still be there just because of its function as quantum fuel. But I would suspect there's going to be materials there that are quite valuable. Oh, and yeah, I'm gonna go refine them and then bring them back, and I'm gonna sell them for a pretty penny. I don't think I'll spawn in Pyro. I don't think so, because if they do a wipe, then spawning in Pyro means you're probably gonna have limited access to stuff. However, I do think that I will do the jump gate, because if you've seen the videos of the jump gate, I don't know, it just looks really cool. I don't know, it's an experience. If you haven't looked it up, like, not spoiler, like, I know I'm NDA'd from stuff because you can't do it in like the Evo, but go look up the jump gate. Like, you actually have to pilot through the jump gate, and I don't know, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. It's a very immersive experience, and you know how they love immersion in this game. We made almost $1 million today. $1 million in 3 hours. That's not too bad. Really, it would have been almost double that refined. So we made about like almost 900K today, and it would have been like, I don't know, 1.8 million if we had refined it and shipped it. But, you know, wasn't trying to refine because, you know, sometime next week, Monday, Tuesday, probably early midweek, they're probably going to push the .2 patch into the live servers, and I'm not trying to deal with losing all my refinery orders, not getting any money for it. So no, thank you. Pig, dude, you should try what I did, man. Try the thing that I talked about. Just go ahead and just go through open all your exterior doors and just use the max left grab and just throw all the boxes out the side and then use the tractor beam to put it in. I downloaded that whole cat in like 15, 20 minutes by myself. So I'm not quite sure how it's such a hassle for you, but I thought it was pretty sham. Are you thinking it will have an org undertaking to keep your ship from falling in NPC and PvP hands? I don't think so, because it's like, when you think NPC pirates, well, NPC pirates are probably going to be a thing, but realistically, they're going to have like a set spawn area. It isn't like they're going to be roaming around and find you. And as far as PvP goes, the trick, like, all that'll be is like you just jump to a random point on a planet, and the thing to do is just, once you're jumping to somewhere on a moon or something, kill your quantum jump halfway through it or wherever, right? And target the other side of the planet and just kill it at some random place. And then the chances of someone stumbling upon you are really slow, really, really low. In my opinion, I think that'll be hard. What's up? What did I say? I said we're gonna go to Orison and go to my hangar. My big boy hangar.
Welcome to the ASOP vehicle retrieval system.
And I'll be dead, buried in the ground before I succumb to a pirate.
Stand by. Your vehicle has been. Please visit us.
Oh. Ah, where's my lame-o? Yeah, I mean, there is ganking and griefing, but I mean, Pyro was in tech preview earlier, and I don't know, if you're gonna be, you're just gonna have to be smart, you know what I'm saying? It's gonna require a level of cooperation with other players, or you're just gonna have to be a pretty good pilot and know where to avoid. Because right now people are pretty spoiled. with how they do stuff and how they go about business. They're very nonchalant. They don't really pay too much attention. And I've played games that has significant PvP presence, and you just have to be a lot smarter, right? You just have to be careful about where you go, how you go about things and all this stuff, because they're going to have to be safe areas, right? I assure the jump point is probably going to be a safe area. But outside of that, like, you're just going to have to... It's kind of like trading in Star Citizen. People who are traders are familiar with taking non-standard routes to avoid pirates. But, I mean, sometimes you're just going to take an L, right? If someone quantum jams you and they catch you with your pants down, like, hey, like, you're done. Like, you sucks. You're just going to have to learn how to avoid people. Or just mine in space. Like, go mine in Pyro, but just mine in space instead of, like, on a moon or something. Probably be pretty safe, I would imagine. I don't think Star Citizen's gonna go down the same path, but I mean, PvP is an integral part of this game, right? That is the reality of playing with other players is, hey, some people might pirate you, right? And that just further adds to the realities of, hey, you aren't gonna be able to just go around doing whatever you want, right? Like, you are gonna have to learn to operate in a way that's not like, oh, I'm gonna fly around in my spaceship, I'm just gonna go do this and go do that. Like, no. You can't take out boxes with the Atlas. What do you mean you can't take out boxes with the Atlas? What do you mean? Something I think that would make the what's it called? The Caterpillar really, really good would be if they added a big boom arm to the tractor beam. I think the tractor beam is kind of awkwardly placed. I think the concept is there, but they should really, really add like a boom arm or something just to increase its range of motion to give it more access than what it has now. Because right now, I don't know, I feel like it's kind of struggling and it needs something different. And the concept is there. I think it's a good concept. 890 jump. The concept is there. It's just, I don't know. The Caterpillar is an old ship and definitely needs to be changed out, which is why I didn't necessarily pledge a Caterpillar and I pledged an Ironclad, because the Caterpillar would be a useful ship for me to have. Now, it was made to put the Ironclad will just be, it's more open, and I think it's going to be more fleshed out than the Caterpillar. The Caterpillar just needs a lot of work to be better, I think. Turning clouds on the photo mode is like the best thing I've ever done. That looks like a rain cloud. That's crazy. Now, photo mode clouds are such like, if you're not playing like that, you're missing out on so much. It gives the clouds so much realism. They have depth, they have shapes. They're not just like cotton puffs around, you know what I mean? Like it's just so, it's cool. I mean, 6 gonna have to enforce something, right? Like they're gonna have to do something. I don't think they're gonna be able to leave it as it is. I can't type. Let's see, where is it at? Okay, here we go. Here we go. Well, it's a shame it's Orson at night. Orson at day looks really pretty on my PC. All right, gang. Well, it's been an awesome stream. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us today. You guys have been awesome. Link for the community Discord, just posted it in the chat here. So if you want to join the community, we talk in there. Trying to get it more started back up from where it was before. But you guys have been amazing. Thank you guys so much for joining us today. Don't forget to drop a like. It helps channels out so much. Subscribe because we got some new videos coming out, some new mining guides with all the changes, and talking about all the kind of ship comparisons for the medium ships and all that. So a lot of good stuff coming up. It's going to be a great time. You guys are awesome. And we'll see you guys in the next one.